already in the paid batch we are doing the module B, right? So here also I am having some question from module B itself. So in paid batch we are doing the chapter of that is performance management, but today I have taken some 10 to 15 questions from the module B, that is from the chapter of development of HR and human implication of the organization, right? See, this is your first question from the Zohari window. If when we are talking about the exam point of view, then definitely Zohari window is a very important topic, right? See, this is the Zohari window and it is given by the Joseph Lungcham, okay? Right? So Zohari window, right, is a very important topic when we are talking about the exam point of view, okay? And Zohari window that is given that is given by the Joseph Luke and Harrington Ingham. So in December exam there was a question from the that who has given the Zohari window model. The name is famous two psychologists, they have given the Zohari window, that is Joseph Luft and Harrington Ingham. And when we have shorted their name, the Zohari is named from their name only. Okay, Luft and Ingham named their model, that is Zohari, given the combination of their first names. Okay, so that is Joseph Luft and Harrington Ingham. Okay, Joseph Luft and Harrington Ingham, right? So taken their first name, that is Zohari, right? So that is the Zohari window. In this Zohari window, see, basically Zohari window, right, that is a technique designed to help people better understand their relationship with themselves and others. That means how much open they are with themselves and even with the other person. So Zohari window is actually the method where we help people to better understand their relationship with themselves and others, right? So in Zohari window we have the 4 quadrant. Total 4 quadrant we have. That is number 1 is arena. That means that is the open quadrant, open, right? This one is the blind, right? This one is the hidden, closed, that is. But this one is the dark. So this is A, B, C and D. So when we are talking about the arena, this is actually the open quadrant. That means in this quadrant, that is open quadrant, right, the information which is lying under the arena, that means that information is known to self and known to other. Okay. Then we have the blind spot. Blind spot, in this spot the information lying is which is known to other but not known to you, yourself, right? So that is a blind. That means we don't know about ourselves but others know about us, right? Then the third is not known to other. That is basically the mask type of situation. Mask means you are hiding everything from the other person. So you know everything about yourself but you are hiding. Okay, you are wearing the mask actually. So the information which you are hiding from the other person. So not known to other. Okay, this is the area of not known to other. Okay, and this is the area is which is known to other. Okay, and the number 1 is the area here is that is known to self. Okay, and the second area is that is not known to self. Not, okay, so that is not known to self. So we have the 4 quadrant here, that is arena, blind, hidden and dark. So that is third area, that is hidden area, closed area, where the information is not known to other, right, and known to self. Then the last area is that is the dark area. Here actually the information which is not known to self, right, and not known to other. That means it is the information which even other don't know about yourself, right, and even you don't know about yourself. So that is a dark area, completely unknown area, dark area. We called it as a even unknown area also. Okay, this is the unknown area. So the question here is, in the Zohari window model, the information about yourself that other know in a group but you will unaware about it. Okay? That means other know other know but you are not okay? You will be unaware about it. So that means that is the area of light. Okay? That means other know about yourself but you yourself don't know about that. So that is a blind area. Now the second question here is red. So in the last year in June exam there was a question from the red, right? That is role analysis technique. Now what is this analysis technique is all about? See, the role analysis technique, right? This is actually the intervention normally to design to clarify the role expectation and obligation to the team member to improve the team effectiveness, right? So that is basically the structured exercise to provide an overall picture of what role is supposed to achieve, the rationale for its existence in the organization, right? So normally this technique, that is red, role analysis technique, that is actually the intervention which is designed to clarify role expectation and obligation to the team member to improve the team effectiveness. So this will be work where actually all the team member, they know what is their role is. So definitely the role ambiguity, the confusion will be ended because of this technique. So role analysis is the structured exercise to provide an overall picture of what role is supposed to achieve, the rationale for its existence in the organization. So that is actually the role is basically the technique, right? It is an intervention to clarify about the role expectation and obligation. Okay, so it clarify about the role expectation and role clarification, that is. So role analysis technique actually give you the idea about the role expectation and role clarification. So the answer here is, that is role analysis technique. Now third question is, identify the true statement from the following, right? You have to identify which one is the true statement. Number one is, the child ego state mainly collect information and process it. Okay, this is your first option. The second is, the adult ego state is mainly responsible for creativity, curiosity and reaction to other. The third is, parent ego state mainly regulate the behavior and nurture it. Okay, so which one is the correct statement? See, child ego state mainly collect the information and process it, which is completely wrong. Okay, third is, the parent ego state mainly regulate behavior and nurture it. B is, adult ego state mainly responsible for creativity and reaction to other. That is completely wrong. We are talking about child ego state here. Okay, and here we are talking about the adult. But the third one, see, in the transactional analysis which is given by the Eric Berne, okay, we have done in the paid class also. He has given the three state, that is child, adult and parent, right? So child ego state mainly tells you about your, right, creativity, curiosity and immediate reaction to the other. Adult ego state is mainly tells you about, right, to behave reasonably, right? But parent ego state that regulate your behavior and nurture it. So here the right answer is C, that is. Which one of the following is not a component of your emotion and to understand other person's emotion as well. Okay, so that is your capability, that is your ability to understand your emotion and to understand other person emotion as well. So we have the 5 component here. The number 1 is self-awareness. Number 2 is self-regulation. Number 3 is empathy. Number 4 is self-motivation. Number 5 is social skills, right? So we have total 5 components here. Self-awareness, self-regulation, empathy, self-motivation and social skills. So basically when we are talking about these 5 components, right, that means here actually which one of the following is not a component of EI, that is. Okay. So when we are talking about EI, that is actually that is the ability to regulate your behavior and to regulate other person's emotion as well. Okay. So we have the 5 component here. Number 1 is self-awareness. That is to know, to have the awareness about your emotion. Then we have the self-motivation. That is all about to motivate yourself. Then we have the empathy. Empathy means to have the make up the mood of other, right? You have the capability to change the mood of other. Then we have the self-regulation. That means to regulate your own behavior, right? Then we have the social network. That means you are having the capability to build rapport with others. Okay. So here actually technical skills is not the component of EI. So last year in December exam there was a question of that which one is a component, or I think which one is not a component. Like that they have asked. So these 5 are the components: self-awareness, regulation, empathy, motivation and social network. Next question is, what is the id? See, in the personality theory which is given by the motivation in the personality theory, that is 3 ego state is given, right? That is id, ego and super ego, right? Now what is the meaning of id? See, id is your impulsive behavior. Okay. Freud has suggested that, Freud is very famous psychologist, right? And he has suggested that in id ego state, right? In id state, your impulsive behavior work, right? That means you are thinking very impulsive, right? Like without even thinking of once. Ego is your reality. It is like your child behavior, basically. Okay. Then ego is your adult-like behavior. That means you are dealing with the reasonably, with the logic, with the according with the situation. Then we have the super ego. Now super ego is all about, that is your super ego is moral, okay, right and wrong. So what is the id? That is a part of the psyche that control impulses. P is part of the psyche that reduce anxiety. C is a description of the innate institutional, right, need, and G is a part of psyche that control our moods. So what is the meaning of it? That is actually control your that is actually reduce the anxiety, description of your innate, then part of that is actually the impulses. Right. We have the next question, that is rebel hypothesis. See, rebel hypothesis is given by the F.W. Taylor. Okay, this is given by F.W. Taylor. Now, what was the opinion of F.W. Taylor? F.W. Taylor has thought that if any employee, right, if any employee who is working in the organization, they are completely working for the money, for the incentive, right? So rational economic view or rebel hypothesis is given by the F.W. Taylor. Last year in the June exam, this question was asked, right? That if so, what was the opinion of F.W. Taylor? His opinion was, if you are giving the money to the worker, if you are giving them the good salary to the worker, that means they will work for you. Okay, they will work for you. So the option is that is, workers are motivated more by the need for satisfaction. Workers are motivated more by the sense of security. Workers are motivated more by the need for money. Workers are motivated more by the working environment. So here actually the answer is C, that workers are motivated more by the need for money, that is. Which one of the following statement is correct about the self-awareness? Again, this question is from the Zuhari window, that is arena, blind, closed and dark. Okay, so we are talking about the self-awareness. Which one is the right? Arena and closed are known to self. Okay, see this area is what? We have already done this. This area is known to other and not known to other. Okay, that is known to other, right, and not known to other, that is. Okay, this area is known to self and not known to self. Okay, so here we are talking about arena and closed that are known to self. Arena and closed, yes, that are known to self. Arena and closed that are known to other, which is wrong. Closed and dark are known to other. Closed and dark known to other, that is also wrong. Arena and dark are known to self, which is also wrong. So number 1 is the right one. See, if you want to remember this, normally last to last year, in a year of 2022, there was a 5 marks question from only Zuhari. So it is a very, very important topic, right? You can see here A, B, C, D, right? So this is a very, very important topic. And when we are talking about the Zuhari window, right, please remember this picture. Upper one is not, that is known to other, not known to other, known to self and not known to self. A, B, C, D. Simple. Okay. So just right, remember this picture. If you remember this picture, then definitely it will be easier for you. Then we have question 9. This is from the reinforcement theory of motivation. Okay. See, this concept, that is operant conditioning, is given by the B.F. Skinner. Now, what was the opinion of B.F. Skinner? His opinion was that is actually, if you are working something, right, if you are doing a very good work, okay, that means if you are going to reward for that work, then of course you will repeat that behavior. That is, we called it as a positive reinforcement. But for the behavior you will be getting the punishment, then definitely you won't be repeat that kind of behavior. So we called it as a negative behavior. Okay, negative reinforcement, right? So here the option is number 1, a reservoir of feeling, thought, urges and memories that are outside of our conscious awareness. B is a behavior training technique in which reinforcement or punishment are used to influence behavior. Third is the largely unconscious part of the personality, okay, that mediate the demand of id, ego, superego and reality, right? So here actually we are talking about here, that is B. We are talking about the positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement. So that is a behavior training technique in which reinforcement or punishment are used to influence the behavior. Okay. Question number 10 is the motivation is determined by the nature of the reward people expect to get as a result of their job performance. Which of the following theory postulates it? Okay. That is balance, instrumentality and expectancy model, instrumentality theory, path goal theory or all of the above. So of course the all of the above is the right answer. All the 3 names are from the Bloom theory. So when we are talking about the Bloom theory, that means we are talking about if we know what type of reward that person is going to get, okay, what kind of reward we are going to get, then definitely we will be more motivated. So it will lead to effort, performance and
Hi friends, welcome to Adda 24/7. We are in the Scholar series of ABM. Here we are covering important theory, numericals and objective questions. So follow the series from the start. Let's start. A bank calculates that its individual savings accounts are normally distributed with a mean of 2000 and a standard deviation of 600. If the bank takes a random sample of 100 accounts, what is the probability that the sample mean will lie below 1900? This is a bit difficult to understand. Everyone pay attention. Huh? Everyone pay attention because very important part. Let me draw the line over here. Very important part. Understand, for this you need to know this normal distribution curve. Let me show you. Suppose if this is a normal distribution curve, okay? This one. So what is given in this problem? And say this. Mean is given as 2000. So this mean means what? This mean always lies at the center. This is the mean. And this is known as population mean. Mu, this is called mu. That is 2000 population mean. Always remember, what are we doing actually in this numerical? We are doing some sample over here, doing something on the sample and then applying it to the entire population. Entire population we are applying it. Okay. So this is the meaning. This is the problem actually. Doing something on the sample and applying it to the population. Got it? Now what is it given? Normally distributed. That the savings accounts are normally distributed. What do you mean by normally? It means the population is normally distributed. It means that the bank is having some savings account. Let me show you over here only. Say this. This is the population and this is the sample. So this population means for entire savings accounts of the bank. Savings accounts of the banks is the population. Now, do you know how many savings accounts are there? Have they mentioned it? That the bank has 1 lakh savings account, 50,000 savings account, something like this. Have they mentioned? Nothing. So it means what? This savings account becomes an infinite population. Infinite. Okay? It becomes an infinite population. Got it? Now, as it becomes an infinite population, the formula for standard error changes. Get this, huh? Formula for standard error changes. Now, always while solving this numerical, first step which you have to find out is whether this is finite or infinite population. Because if you have infinite population, then the formula for standard error psi x dash we write it. Okay, so standard error equals to standard deviation psi upon root of n. That is the formula for infinite. Okay, I'll write it. And if it is a finite population, means known population, 1 lakh savings account, 50,000 savings account, then it becomes what? Same, psi upon root of n. Psi means standard error, standard deviation. Standard deviation upon root of n into square root of capital N minus small n upon capital N minus 1. This is for finite population. Okay. Now look at this. In the problem, whatever is given. What is given in the problem? Population is given as 2000. Okay, no, not population. Mean is given as 2000. See this. Mean is given as 2000 and standard deviation is given as 600. 600 for this population. So standard deviation means how much the answers deviate from this mu. So that is given as 600. Now what about the sample? In the sample they have given that the bank takes a random sample of 100. So 100 is the sample size. Small n is given as 100. Okay. Now have they given anything else now? Second part, what have they given? They have asked you probability of sample mean will lie below 1900. So what do you mean by below 1900? Look at this. This is 2000. This is mu is 2000. So on the left side will always be less than 2000. So 1900 will lie over here somewhere, right here. So what do we want? We want below 1900. 1900. So we want this area below 1900. Okay. This area below 1900. This is the basic answer we require. This area we require. Now how to find out the area over here? Now for finding out the area, let me give you some hint. See this. In exam also, they'll give you this normal distribution table. This table will be given to you. And now what have you to check? the upper figure over here, this figure is very important. If this figure is given as this way, it means what? It means it is starting from here, this point, to wherever you go, it's moving like this on the right side. If they give you the figure like this, and the red part over here, this red part over here is starting from here only, here only. If they give you like this, if this figure red part is like this, only this part, okay, then what does it mean? In that case, it means it is starting from 0.5. So when it starts from 0.5, the figures will be different, the answers will be different. So if they give you from this, the majority of chances you will get it from in this, because this normal distribution table is used throughout the world. Starting from 1, because this total area is called as 1. This total area is 1. Okay. This half area is 0.5. See here, I'll write it over here. This is 0.5 area complete, and this is 0.5 area. Okay. So now what have they given? They have given that we want it below 1900, so we want this area. So for finding this area, this means what? This is a probability. The answer which you get is a probability only. For getting this probability, you need to find out the z value. Without z value, you can't get the probability. Without z value. Okay. So now look at this numerical. Firstly, what I have you to do is you have to find out the standard error first. Standard error is given as psi upon root of n, because this is an infinite population. So psi upon root of n. What is psi? Psi means standard deviation. Here it's given 600. 600 upon root of n, root of 100. So 600 upon root of 100. So what is the answer? Root of 100 is what? 10. So 600 upon 10, you are getting it as 60. So my standard error is 60 now. Clear? Simple. My standard error is 60. Now, up till now, everyone has understood this. Type yes in the comment section if you have understood it. Has everyone understood this? Yeah. Okay. Done. Now what we do, the next formula which we get is Z. How to find out the Z? See, the Z formula is like this. Z equals to 1 upon psi x bar. This psi x bar means standard error into, now look at this, x bar minus mu. Now what is psi x bar? Psi x bar means this, right now what you have got. So 1 upon 60 into, what is this x bar? X bar means what is asked. Here, what is asked over here? 1900. This is x bar. This is x bar. Okay, so it will be 1900 minus what is mu? Mu is given, just now we saw it, 2000, right? So minus 2000. So do it now. 1900 minus 2000, I think so. Are you able to see this? Let me see. Yeah, you are able to see this. Okay, so I'll draw a line over here now so that I won't write anything over here. So now, so do it. Ignore the signs here. It is minus 100 upon 60. So ignore it. Minus sign is okay. You will take this as modulus. Okay. So it is 100 upon 60. So what is the answer you are getting? 100 upon 60. Everyone. What is the answer you are getting? 100 upon 60. 100 divided by 60. So the answer which you get is 1.66. 1.66. Okay, 1.66. So this is what Z you are getting. This is the answer which you are getting is of Z over here. Everyone, see, I'll explain this numerical 2 times, because what happens, many of the students are asking me to repeat it. See, I'm seeing in the comment section. I'll explain it, don't worry. I'll explain it again. Okay. So Z equals to 1.66. Now what do you do now? See here, up to Z, have you got it? Repeat it. See here, repeat it. I'll repeat it fast now. See here, what we do, this numerical will be given to you in exam. So your first target is find the difference, this sample and population. Find everything between, divide between this. So first find the population. Population is what? Do you know finite or infinite? It is infinite, right? Infinite. Keep it simple. Infinite. Once you get it infinite, immediately apply what? The standard error formula. And write down the values, whatever are given. For population, the value is given as mu. Mu is given as 2000. This one. Then standard deviation, we write it psi like this. Psi. Psi is given as 600. Then on sample side, what is given? N, small n. Sample size is given 100. Then what is given about the sample mean? What about the sample mean? You don't know. So we'll call this as x bar. X bar is given as 1900. So these are the four values you are having. Whenever you get such a problem, you firstly divide it into these four parts. Then apply the formula for psi. Psi x bar. This. Psi x bar. Psi upon root of n. If it's a infinite population, apply this. Psi upon root of n. 600 upon 10. 600 is psi, standard deviation, root of n, root of 100. So 10, so 60. You got it, psi x bar. So this is known as standard error. Standard error. Okay. Now once you get this standard error, what you do next is find the z value. What is the z value? Z value equals to 1 upon psi x bar into x bar minus mu. This formula you have to rectify, learn by heart. 1 upon psi x bar into x bar minus mu. Okay. Now all the values you are having. 1 upon psi x bar you are having. Psi x bar is 60. X bar you are having 1900. Mu you are having 2000. Okay. So now do it. 1900 minus 2000, that is minus 100. Ignore the plus minus sign. So take it plus only. And this 60. So 100 upon 60 is 1.66. Up till now over here, got it now, everyone. Now using this z value, we have to find out the probability. Now this table will be given to you in exam. And in this probability distribution table, remember, you have to check what this image is given. If this image is given from the starting, then it means your complete area of 1 is to be taken. This complete area of 1, complete area is known as 1. So if it is given, then you will be taking this complete area of 1. If it is given, this red mark is given only from half, okay, then you have to take only half. You have to take it from 0.5. Do all the calculations using 0.5. Now what am I saying? I'll explain you. Let's find out this z value first. Let me expand this. What was that z value? 1.66. So first find out z. See here, z is like this. How do you divide this z? Divide this z like this. 1.6, 1.66. So make it two parts. 1.6 over here and 6 over here. So this 6 will be checked in horizontal. This 1.6 will be checked in vertical. Now go forward. So vertical now. 1.6 first. 1.6 over here. And then other 6 is over here. See this 6. Match this 0.06 and 1.6 over here. It is coming to 0.9515. Look at this. Everyone is getting this 0.9515. Let me see how many of you are getting these answers here. Okay. Now, those who have not heard, kindly give me the answer for 1.66. 1.6 and 0.6. So give me the answer. It is in the comment section. Everyone in the comment section. It is 0.9515. Got it? This is 0.9515. Look at this. 0.9515. Everyone got this? Clear? 0.9515. So my probability over here is, now look at it. This is not your answer, but probability equals to 0.9515. Okay, but this is not your answer. Look at this. What do we want? Yeah. So now what do we want? My probability value is, probability equals to 0.9515. Okay. But do I want this 0.9515? No. Why? Because what am I getting? I want it below this area. And what is it given over here? It means when now you'll have to search. Now you'll have to think. This area of 0.9515 means from here. Okay. And I wanted what? Below this, from starting up to 1900. So this area 1900. So this 0.9515 area means this area. This complete area. Okay. So which area is it covering, and I want, remember, below 1900, so I want it on the left side. This area only I want it, this on the left side of this line, I want that, because I want below 1900. If I would have required above 1900, then I would have required this area, but I want below 1900, so I require this area, this part. So when I require this part, and what have I got? 0.9515 is the answer which I've got. It means what? It means this area only I've got it. So my answer over here is luckily the same, 0.9515, because I'm counting it from the left side and I've got the area of the left side only. So that's why my area, my probability over here is 0.9515. If they would have asked you that give me the area for above 1900, then what would have you done? Above 1900. Okay, now let me show you that also. Above 1900, what would you have done? See here, this total area is 1. Now look at this, everyone. This total area is 1, right? Out of this, 0.9515 is below 1700 over here. Let's see, because this is 1 means 95% you are covering. So this all area is below 1900. Okay. Now if they would have asked me that I want this above 1900, so this total area is 1 minus 0.9515, 0.9515. If they would have asked me this area, then this would have been my question mark and this would have been my answer. But now they have asked me what? They have asked me below 1900. So I am wanting this area only. So my answer is correct over here. Luckily it is 0.9515 only. Okay. Got it, everyone? This is the way this numerical is to be solved. Not that simple. It's really difficult. You have to understand this probability distribution table correctly. And for that you need to join the classes. Okay. Yeah, paid classes. Because there I'm teaching you all these numericals again and again, many times. Everyone subscribe to Officers Adda 24/7 YouTube channel. In this channel, you will be getting number 1, free YouTube series on all the subjects of JIB and CIB, all. And whatever is free, you should grab it, isn't it? So that's why subscribe to the channel, click on the bell icon immediately. Okay? Share it with your friends. Now some theory part. An interval estimate. Now this is regarding the estimation chapter. An interval estimate is the range of values used to estimate the population parameter. What do you mean by this? See here, you want this population parameter. Always remember this parameter word is always attached to population. And for statistic sample, it is which word is attached? Who can give me the answer? Comment section. For sample, which word is attached? The word attached is statistic. Always remember statistic. For sample, statistic word is attached, and for population, parameter word is attached. So interval estimate is the range of values used to estimate the population parameter. It indicates the error in two ways. The extent of its range means how far can this go. Means what? Suppose if I tell you today's India's score will be what? Suppose if I ask you this question, suppose let's say there are matches going on now. India is, let's say, playing, and I ask you in 50 overs, or now let's say 2020. In 20 overs, what will be India's score? If I ask you this question, then what does it mean? Can you give me the exact score? In 20 overs, India will score 197. You can't give me. What will you give me? You will give me a range around, India will score around 170 to 200. So this is known as range, extent of its range. Now if I give you, tomorrow I will give you this range. India will score, I think so, 0 to 500. Within this range it will definitely score. You'll say what a foolishness it is, right? Because if I'm telling you 0 to 500, definitely it will be between 0 to 500. So the answer should be somewhat logical. By the extent of its range. So range is important over here. Extent of its range. Okay. So what range are we talking of? That is important. Got it? So that's why. So this extent of its range and by the probability of its true population parameter lying within that range. So within that range, if I give you this range at 0 to 500, definitely India will score between 0 to 500. But if I give you the range like India will score between 470 to 500, now this is the accurate range. So my answer will lie somewhere in between. If it lies, then I'm accurate. If my answer doesn't lie over here, it lies somewhere in 100 only, then I'm far beyond this range, right? So extent of its range and the probability of the true population parameter lying within that range. So actually the answer should lie within this range. Okay. So that is a good interval estimate. A sample statistic is used to estimate the population parameter is known as estimator. This sample statistic is known as estimator. Okay. Means whatever statistic we are using, mean, mode, median. What is the statistic? Statistic can be many things. I'll give you simple ones. Mean, mode, median. Right? These are all statistics. That is used to estimate the population parameter is called as estimator. The sample mean X can be estimator, an estimator of the population mean P. And the sample proportion can be used as an estimator of the population proportion. So mean X, sample mean can be used as the estimator, and the sample proportion can be used to estimate the population parameter. So what does it mean? I'm using this mean, calculating this mean from the samples and using it for population. We can also use the sample range to estimate the population range. So let's start with the simulation exercises. Simulation, remember, it is the easiest chapter in your complete ABM. But even though it is easiest, don't take it lightly, because there are certain questions related to the simulation exercises which are asked. So focus on them very properly. Let's start. Which of the following statement regarding the simulation is correct? So now you have to find out whichever is correct. Always remember, in exam you have to focus on what is asked, whether correct is asked or wrong is asked. If they want wrong, then you have to click on correct and the wrong one. Okay. So what is the one? Let's see. First one. Simulation is a way of studying effects of changes in the real world through models. So is simulation the same? B. Simulation is the imitation of some real thing or the process. C. In simulation, it is tried to imitate a system or environment in order to predict the actual behavior, and all of the above. Now, firstly, understand what is simulation. Simulation means, suppose when you're, have you seen simulation anywhere? Whenever you go to, let's say, any new construction flat, suppose if you want to buy a new flat, whenever you go to buy a new flat, the building is not ready at all. Many times they just show you some prototype, some model which they prepare. So what is that model? That model is a smaller image or smaller 3D image of what the real building will be, right? So this is basically the simulation. Similarly, in simulation, whenever you go for admission in any college, what do? Do you go and check this college practically? No, you check on the prospectus. What is that? That is a sort of simulation. It will give you the image of that college, right? So that is simulation. So now which of the following are correct over here? Which of the following statements are correct? Yeah, they are. Number one. Yeah. Which of them are correct? Simulation is a way of studying effects of changes in the real world through models. That is correct. Simulation is the imitation of some real thing or the process. So that is also correct. In simulation, it is tried to imitate a system or environment in order to predict the actual behavior. This is the most important one. Okay, because here we try to imitate a system or environment. Actually, we try to, in finance also, we use the simulation. We see various scenarios, and based on those scenarios, we create the various effects of those scenarios. Okay, So in simulation, it is tried to imitate a system or environment in order to predict the actual behavior and all of the above. So the correct answer is D, all of the above. Okay. Everyone answer in the comment section. Acting out or mimicking an actual or probable real life situation or event to find the cause of the past occurrence or to forecast the future effects of the assumed circumstances or factors is called as, what is this? This is on the similar lines of that earlier question, isn't it? Acting out of mimicking an actual or probable real life situation. What did we say about this simulation? Same thing, isn't it? To find out the past occurrence means what had happened in the past, or to forecast the future effects. Now this means that considering the various scenario analysis or factors is called as simulation, linear programming, probability, regression. Now look at this. Simulation you might have guessed the answer by now. Type in the comment section. Linear programming is altogether a separate chapter. In LPP, what do? We study various linear equations. We try to bring everything into the linear equations and then we try to study them. Probability is totally different. There are three types of probabilities, right? Bernoulli, this binomial and Poisson. These are the three main probabilities for your CAIIB. Kindly follow this probability lecture also. Regression and correlation, again different chapters. Regression and correlation are related to two elements, the relationship between the two elements. So this mimicking an actual probable real life situation, what can be the answer for this? The answer is simple, isn't it? Let me see in the comment section. It is A, right? Got it? Simulation can be used to, means why do we use the simulation? To find causes of the past occurrences only. To forecast the future effects of any occurrence only, means only this. Find the causes of the past occurrence and to forecast the future effects of an occurrence. Neither to find out the causes of past occurrence nor to forecast the future effects of any occurrence. Now obviously D is not the answer, okay? Neither is not the answer. Now only you will get confused over here whether to type A or B or C. Again you will get confused between B and C because A also past occurrence only, that is not the right answer. So you will get confused between B and C. Now type in the comment section, let me see. Okay, let me see everyone. The answer is, yeah. Is it B or C? The answer is C, correct? The answer is C because it is used for past also as well as to forecast the future also, right? So that C is the answer. Simulation is appropriate where? Now look at the options. Where? Size of the problem makes the size of other techniques difficult or impossible. Complexity of the problem makes the use of other techniques difficult or impossible. Problem is impossible to be solved. So where do we use the simulation? In which case? Size of the problem makes the size of other techniques difficult or impossible. Means what? Suppose imagine I have to do some changes in my software, banking software. If I have to bring totally new software, so is it possible for me without testing just to bring the whole software new and one night I'll bring the whole software new in the bank and tell everyone to operate on it? It's not possible, right? That will create a chaos. That is the meaning of this first sentence. Size of the problem makes the size of other techniques difficult or impossible. I can't implement the software, new software in a bank because without telling anyone or without doing the testing. So doing the testing is known as simulation. In simulation, what do we do whenever we test the software? We create a dummy environment, right? And in that dummy environment, we do the all the checkings, correct? Complexity of a problem makes the use of other techniques difficult or impossible. That is also a point. See here, important part over here is size. Second is complexity also, because finance is the most complex field in this world, right? Because complexity. Suppose again come back to the same example. Suppose if you go for this software changing the software. So that is so complex. There are so many fields in the banking, retail, corporate, then we have mutual funds, third party products, then contingent liabilities like LCs, bank guarantees. So that's why these are just the four which I have told you. There are almost 7 to 8 fields. So these fields make it difficult for change of software at abruptly. Problem is impossible to be solved. Is there any problem which is impossible to be solved? Now you answer. Is the answer A to 3 all? B, A and B, 1 and 2 only? C, 1 and 3 only? And D, 2 and 3 only? So what can be the answer for this? Everyone? Yeah, answer is correct. Type in the comment sections. Yes, the answer is this B, 1 and 2 only. Because 3 can't be the answer. You can't have any problem in finance which is impossible to be solved. Okay. Simulation can be used, number 1, with traditional statistical techniques, with traditional management techniques, without the traditional statistical techniques, without the traditional management techniques. Now this is a bit easy to understand, isn't it? With traditional statistical techniques, with traditional management techniques. So it can be used with both of them. Without traditional statistical techniques. So do I understand this here? Can be used with traditional statistical techniques means what? Are the statistical techniques in my regular working required to be added or to be supplemented by simulation? Or is simulation required to be supplemented by my traditional techniques? Can simulation work without my traditional statistical techniques? Can simulation work without my traditional management techniques? So which one is correct? Only one is correct. Only two is correct. 1 and 2 are correct. And 3 and 4 are correct. Which one is correct over here? Now this is a bit tricky one. Because if you get such question in exam, you will definitely get tricked over here. Okay. Now think and type in the comment section. Let me see. Okay. I'm seeing the correct answers are here. It is this 1 and 2. 1 and 2 are correct because remember in finance nothing is independent. Nothing is independent. You have to always use everything in connection with the other one. So traditional statistical techniques, traditional management techniques, these are to be used in connection, in togetherness with simulation. You can't have anything individually working over here. Okay. So 1 and 2 both are correct. In which of the following simulation can be applied? So where can the simulation be applied? Air traffic control queuing and aircraft maintenance, assembly line scheduling and inventory reorder design, railroad operations and facility layout, and all of the above. Simulation means what? What did we study about simulation now? Simulation was basically this mimicking the actual life situation in the form of a prototype. So where can you use this? You can use in all of these. Air trafficking control, you can use it. Assembly line scheduling, you can use it. Railroad operations, you can use it. So answer is D, all of the above, right? Now some theory, last part of this topic, theory, forecasting technique. Now forecasting technique, there are two methods. Auto-regressive, three methods, not two. Auto-regressive, then moving average, and last one is ARMA, combination. So what is auto-regressive? In auto-regressive model, we forecast the variable of interest using linear combination of the past values of the variable. Look at this, linear combination, okay? Remember this word which I have highlighted. In exam, auto-regressive model will have this word linear combination. The term auto-regressive indicates that a regression of the variable against itself, against itself, okay? The AR part involves regression of the variable on its own lagged values. The lagged means what? Past values. These two sentences are same. Against itself and lagged values, okay? MA means what? Moving average. In this time series analysis, moving average, also known as moving average process, the used for modeling univariate time series. See this univariate will be the word will be there in moving average. It involves modeling error term as a linear combination of error terms occurring contemporaneously. Means what? What is this contemporaneously? So big word. This is latest one, latest. Whichever is the latest will get the highest weightage and various times of the period. So from exam point of view, remember auto-regressive means linear combination and own lagged. Moving average means what? Univariate, and if they give you this word contemporaneously, then it is MA. And now it's a combination, ARMA. Third one, ARMA model or auto-regressive moving average model. ARMA model describes a time series in terms of two polynomials. Remember, again underlined words, two polynomials. The first of these polynomials is auto-regression and the second is moving average. So it's a combination. The model is a combination of AR and MA model. In this model, the impact of previous lags and residuals are considered to forecast the future values of the time series. Okay, future values. So it is a combination of these, and previous and residuals are used to give the future values. Now these are in the short I have given. Auto-regressive, previous time steps, and next this uses observations from previous time steps as input to the regression equation to predict the next time step. Moving average MA states that the next observation is a mean of every past observation. Auto-regressive model uses the time series data to either better understand the data set or to predict the future values. So importantly, what you remember, these earlier two slides are very important from your exam point of view. AR is linear and own lagged. Moving average is univariate and contemporaneously. Then ARMA model is combination of these two. Okay. So and this line is important. Impact of previous lags and residuals are considered. Okay, previous lags and residuals both. Now the last, which I was telling, why do we have this x multiplied by 2? Okay, now this slide, let me check if I am having it over here. Why do we have to multiply this x by 2 over here? Okay, let me see. I had prepared one slide for this. Let me see if I'm having it. No, one second. No, it's not there. Okay, I'll tell you. Why do we multiply with this? Forget this slide. Okay, what is there difficulty in it? See here. The problem over here is why do we multiply this by 2? Because look at this. X, whenever we have even numbers, even. Okay, what was the x values? Minus 1.5, something like that. It was in points. So whenever it is in points, it's difficult to calculate. In points, it is very difficult to do the calculations. So if I multiply by 2, then what happens? 1.5 becomes 3. So now this is easy. And that's why we multiply by this x by 2. Whenever we have even number of elements, we multiply this x by 2. Why? Because taking the x values, even if you take the same value without multiplying, then also it won't make much difference. But the problem is that the difficulty level in calculations on the calci also, checking the point and doing the calculations is difficult part. So if you have even simple natural numbers, it's very easy to calculate. Okay, so that was the reason why we multiply this x by 2. Okay, so that was the topic. We'll stop over here now. Okay. Hi friends, welcome to Adda 24/7. We are in the Scholar series for ABM. Here we are covering the important theory, numericals and objective questions. So watch the series till the end and use the complete series. Okay, view the complete series, watch all the lectures. Okay, let's start. The topic which we are taking today, the topic which we are covering over here, I'll tell you this can be asked in ABM or BFM or ABFM, any of the three. It can be asked in any of the three. Okay, so that's why watch it from that angle. Got it? Because this topic is common for ABM also, BFM also, and some part of ABFM also. We'll be covering these objective questions. So let's start one by one. Which of the following statement is not correct regarding the capital of a bank? So not correct regarding capital of a bank. Okay, what is firstly capital of a bank? That this is there in your ABM also and BFM also. Capital is divided into tiers according to the characteristic of each qualifying instrument. Right? Tiers. There are two types of capital generally, right? Tier 1 and Tier 2. Tier 1 is a free capital. Tier 2 is a paid capital. Tier 1 is a going concern. Tier 2 is a gone concern, right? So capital is divided into tiers, right? For supervisory purposes, the capital fund has two categories, right? Two categories of funds. Just now I told you tier 1 and tier 2. Now few things I'll clarify regarding this capital now only, okay? When of course this will be useful to you. Tier 1 includes what? Mainly tier 1 includes T1. Okay, T1 includes what? Mainly it includes this share capital, then second it includes net profit, okay. Thirdly it includes reserves and surplus, okay. Both the words are used nowadays, surplus. And last one it includes revaluation reserves, okay. It includes these four elements. T1 capital. T2 capital is a paid capital. T2 capital means anything which you get under this using the loan as such. Okay, there are certain conditions to it, that general reserves or general loans are to be taken at 1.25%. So that is separate aspect. We'll cover it sometime else. Now, coming back to this, the supervisory purposes capital has two categories, okay, T1 and T2. The highest quality of capital with the bank is in the form of tier 1 funds. Now look at this, the question is not correct. Which one is not correct? Okay, The highest quality of capital with the bank is in form of tier 2 capital. Now only the real problem is this. Highest quality C and D. See here, obviously I'll tell you A and B are correct. Divided into tiers according to their each qualifying instrument. So that is true. So this is true. Two categories, this is also true. Now somebody amongst you might say that there are three categories. There is also something called as T3 capital, tier 3. But tier 3 capital is an emergency capital. It is not a regular capital. Emergency. It is taken into account only when you are in the emergency. Okay, not on a regular basis. Got it? Move on. So what is the correct answer now? This is true, this is true. Now only the problem is over here. This is true or this is true. And you want the false one, not correct one. Okay. So now tell me, what is the correct answer over here? Highest capital, quality of capital is what? Tier 1 or tier 2? Okay, I'll ask you a simple question. Suppose if I ask you, which is the best money which you can have? Do you have the money which is your own, or the money which you have brought it through the bank by loans? Obviously your own, isn't it? So that's why T1 capital will be the best capital. So this is true, but we want a false one. So this is false, and this is your answer. Not correct. Okay, got it? Clear? Next one. The revaluation reserves are to be taken at dash% discount while determining the inclusion in tier 2. Just now I gave you this revaluation reserves are a part of tier 1. Now this tier 2, it was there earlier. Now it is tier 1. Okay. Earlier it was there in tier 2, but RBI has clarified this, that it should be included in tier 1. So what is the discount percentage to be taken? 15% of the paid up capital shown in the balance sheet. 40% of the face value shown in the balance sheet. 55% of the value shown in the balance sheet. 60% of the value shown in the balance sheet. Now, those who have studied this, they will understand, or they will be able to answer this. What is the answer? Revaluation reserves are to be taken at dash% discount. Now understand this wording. Dash% discount means what? That is the main point. Many of us get confused in this word discount. Here. Okay, firstly you give me the answer. Okay, let me explain you this. Discount means what? Because some of you are still having this problem. Suppose let's say it is X% discount. X% discount. Okay. So what does it mean? X% discount means over here 100. Suppose if I have to give you the money and you say that it's X% discount. So how much money will I give you? 100 minus X, right? This much percent I'll have to use it. Okay. This much percent I'll have to give or use it. So this much is useful for me. Similarly over here now, the discount percentage is C, 55%. Revaluation reserves are always taken at 55% discount value. Now what does it mean? But it means that suppose if I am having the revaluation reserves of let's say 50,000 crores, if my bank is having the revaluation reserves of 50,000 CR. So actually how much can I take it? I can take this out of this 50,000 CR, 50,000 CR into 45% only. Understand this 45%. Why 45%? This 45% has come because of 100 minus 55. So it is discount. So what is useful? Useful is 45%. This is what you have to understand this. Many of us take this 55 as a useful part. No, 55 is a discount part. You should take it at 45%. Okay. General provisions and loss reserves are shown as a part of tier 2 capital are subject to max of. This is what I was talking of. When the question number 1 came, I told you T2 capital, general reserves and loss provisions. We'll cover it when the topic comes. So now the topic has come. General provisions or loss reserves are taken as a part of tier 2 capital subject to a maximum of 9% of the risk weight, 6% of the T2 capital, 4% of the capital funds and 1.25% of the RWA. What is the answer over here? How many of you have studied this? Those who have studied this will be able to answer it very fast. Now let me explain you first. Okay? Okay, let us get the answer first, then I'll explain you. What is the answer, everyone? It is 1.25% of RWA. This is the answer, 1.25% of RWA. What does it mean? Now look at this. In exam problem, they'll be giving you RWA equals to RWA, total RWA means for credit plus market plus ops. Either they'll give you or you'll have to find it out. Okay. So total RWA of yours will be, let's say, 1 lakh crores, 1 lakh CR. Let's say this is your total RWA. Okay. And they'll also give you in this exam that general provisions and loss reserve. I'll just write now GPLR. Okay. This means this, GPLR, general provisions and loss reserves. So they'll give you GPLR equals to, okay, let's say 2000 crores, 2000 CR. Okay, they'll give you this. GPLR is 2000 CR. Now your problem will be, what is to be taken in the numerical? What should I use? Which figure should I use in the numerical? So rule is like this. Okay, the rule is total RWA 1 lakh crore into, see this, RWA into 1.25%. Now look at this, whatever I am doing. So 1 lakh into 1.25%. So what is this? 1 lakh into 1.25% is 1250 CR, right? 1250 CR, this will be your answer. Now what do you take? Because this is after all GPLR. GPLR as per your calculations is this. Now which figure should you take? Here it is given only subject to a maximum of this, but it's not that. The answer is this or this, minimum. Okay, so what does it mean? Here I'll be taking 1250 as my figure. Okay, I'll be taking 1250 as my figure in the numerical. This is my answer. But now I'll give you case number 2. In exam they give you everything same, but only they give you GPLR equals to 1000 CR. If they give you this figure, then which one will you take? So as per your calculations, it is 1250 and here it is 1000. So you'll be taking minimum. So minimum of these. So here you'll be taking 1000 CR. Remember this by heart for your exam. Very important calculation. Many of us forget this. This part, question number 3 and question number 2. We forget this and then it's all problem. Okay. Which of the following instrument is not included in upper tier 2 capital? Not included in upper tier 2 capital. So which of them is not included in? Now you read the options. It's already given over there, isn't it? Read the options. Upper tier 2, perpetual cumulative preference shares, redeemable non-cumulative preference shares, redeemable cumulative preference shares, perpetual non-cumulative preference shares. I bet all of you might have got confused over here. What is all this? Firstly, remember in your JIB, remember your JIB now. In JIB, what had you done? Preference shares, preference, right? Preference share. What were the 3 qualities of preference shares? Anyone remembers? 3 qualities of preference shares. It was, one was redeemable, right? Redeemable. Second one was cumulative. Okay. Cumulative. Redeemable, cumulative, and third one was what? Participating, right? Participating. What are these three qualities? Here, participating is of not much use over here, but these two are useful. Redeemable means the customer can come to you anytime and tell you, take this your share and give me my money back. That is redeemable. Cumulative means what? Suppose in some year you don't give the dividend. Understand this. This is related to dividend. If you don't give the dividend, then next year you will have to give the dividend for last year also and next year also, along with the arrears. That is cumulative. Okay? And participating means what? Whenever some funds remain at the end after distributing to everyone, whatever funds remain, those funds means these preference shareholders with participating rights will have the right over that money, whatever is remaining. So these were the three qualities of your preference shares in your JIB. Now the point over here is, what are the options given? Look at this, perpetual. Perpetual means what? Here, I'll give you the opposites of this. Okay. Redeemable, perpetual, opposite is perpetual. X means what? Opposite. Perpetual. These are in cross. Okay. Perpetual means it goes on and on. Redeemable means it can be withdrawn anytime. Cumulative. What is X or this opposite of this? It is non-cumulative. What do you mean by non-cumulative? Cumulative. Non-cumulative. What do you mean by non-cumulative? It means if I don't give you a dividend 1 year, next year I am not liable to give you the dividend that last year's. I may give, I may not give. So that is, after all, no liability over here. Participating is of no use over here. So forget this. Only two will focus. Now look at this. Perpetual, cumulative. Cumulative means what? You are wanting it in tier 2 capital. Tier 2 means what? It's a paid capital. Paid. Going concern. Right? So cumulative will be included over here. Cumulative, where you have to repay the dividends whenever it is, whenever you have not paid. So you want not included. So this is true. Redeemable, non-cumulative. Redeemable means that customer can come to you anytime and ask you for the money. So that is also true, because this is also this tier 2 capital only. Redeemable, cumulative. Again redeemable means again this true. Redeemable, anything, cumulative or non-cumulative, it's true. Why? Because redeemable means what the word means. Customer can come to you anytime and tell you that, see, give me this, take this your bond and give me back my money. That's it. PNCP, perpetual non-cumulative preference share. This is something not included. This is false, because this is a part of your tier 1 capital. Tier 1 means what here? Tier 1 has two parts. Okay, CET1, CET1, right? And second is AT1, AT1. Okay, just now I gave you over here this tier 1 capital. So these all are the part of CET1, CET1. The additional part for tier 1 is CET1 plus AT1. So this I'll show you now over here. So this is AT1. AT1 includes two parts. One is PNCP, perpetual non-cumulative preference shares, and IPDI. What is IPDI? Innovative perpetual debt instruments. Innovative perpetual debt instrument. Do you want me to write it? Innovative perpetual debt instruments. Okay. So that is IPDI. Okay. So these are the part of tier 1 capital. Got it? Move on. What is the maximum extent of subordinate debt that can be included in tier 2 capital? Subordinate debt. Subordinate. 100% of tier 2, 100% of tier 1, 100% of capital funds, 50% of tier 1. Maximum subordinate debt. Yeah. Firstly, what is subordinate debt? Subordinate debt means here it's very simple. Subordinate. What do you mean by this word subordinate? Subordinate means near one. Suppose you have a subordinate in your bank. It means what? The colleague acting near you, working near you. So that is a subordinate. Somebody who is a team member. Similarly, for company X company, okay, subordinate is what? The company X means the subordinate is some sister concern of this company, sister concern, okay. So that is a subordinate. Sister concern of the company is a subordinate. So suppose if I take loan from this company, loan. If I take a loan from this company, so then it will be called as subordinate debt. So what is the percentage of subordinate debt I can take? 100% of tier 2, 100% of tier 1, 100% of capital funds and 50% of tier 1. See here we are talking of tier 2 capital. Subordinate debt that can be taken in tier 2 capital. So it is maximum amount. Maximum amount is 50% of tier 1. Whatever means what? Understand this logic, okay? If my total tier 1 capital of the bank is, let's say, rupees 1000 CR, okay, and my subordinate debt in T2, here T2 will include various elements, okay, subordinate debt, general reserves, all these reserves, okay. Just now we saw that reserves was 1.25%. So one of them will be the subordinate debt. Subordinate debt. So suppose if my subordinate debt over here is taken as, let's say, again 2000 CR. I am having a subordinate debt of 2000 CR. So can I take this 2000 CR in the calculations? I can't take. I can't take. What can I take max then? 50% of this. So I can take maximum of this is 500 CR. Remaining things I can't take in calculations. That's what is the meaning. Okay, got it? Which of the following is to be deducted from tier 1 capital funds? Tier 1 deducted. Okay. Intangible assets, loss in the current period, brought forward losses from previous period, and all of the above. Think. Deducted from tier 1 capital. So whatever is my tier 1 capital, I subtracted these elements from there. So what are those? The answer is, what is the answer? Yes? Anyone, everyone? Intangible assets, are they to be deducted? Yes, they are to be deducted. So this is true, right? Losses in the current period, are they to be deducted? Obviously they are to be deducted. Because if you have losses and when you deduct it, only then you will be having the net profit, isn't it? What is net profit? Net profit means total gross profit minus whatever expenses or losses you have, right? So that is to be deducted. Brought forward losses from the previous year's losses period, I have not accumulated, I have not taken into account. Now I'll have to take into account at any case, and then find out my net profit. So this is also, so the answer is this D, all of the above, right? This is the right answer. Which of the following statement is correct regarding adjustment of securitization exposure? Securitization. What is securitization? It's a big topic. I'll just explain you in one line some part of this. Let's say SBI is having 1000 CR of home loans. Okay. Now its money is locked in this home loans, means it has given the home loan. So money is locked. So how will it free this money? What does the SBI do? SBI will sell it to one SPV. SPV can be anything. See here, it can be SBI Capital. It's a separate company, but that's an SPV. So SBI will sell it to SPV, and SPV will give, see this, how much SBI has given to this SPV, this full loan, 1000 CR completely it has given over here. This 1000 CR is over here. Now SPV has received 1000 CR, but it is selling. So SPV must give some money for the price. What is selling? Selling means whenever I buy vegetables from the market, I give money to that guy, right? Similarly, when SPV is buying this 1000 crores, it must give some money. So what money does it give? It gives around, I'll tell you, 800 crores. So for this 1000 CR, they are giving 800 CR. So what is this 200 gap? This is known as the residual risk. Residual risk to the bank, okay, to SBI, and that is covered under these home loans. Okay. Now what will this SPV do? It has got this 1000 CR loans. It will break this into various smaller components of, let's say, 1 crore components or 1000 components. Okay, it will break this complete 1000 crore home loans into 1000 parts. Each part will be of what? 1 crore. So it will find out 1000 customers who are able to invest 1 CR, and it will convert these into bonds, or we call it debentures or notes, anything. Okay, so it will convert it into bonds and sell it to these guys. Now how will the business work over here? See this. SBI will get around on home loans, let's say 9.5% or 10%, take it round, 10%. SBI will keep around 1% to themselves and give it to SPV, promise this SPV that I'll be giving you around, let's say 8%. Forget, let's give SBI 2%. So SBI will get 2% over here, SPV will get 8%. Now SPV will do what? It will promise this 1 crore guys that okay, I'll give you around 7% on this. 7%. Now what is happening over here? SBI is earning 2%, SPV is earning 1%, and these guys are earning 7%, which might be better than the FD rates. So this is known as securitization. So which of the following statement is correct? Now you want a positive answer. Is correct regarding the securitization exposure. So securitization exposures are to be deducted from the regulatory capital. Deduction of securitization exposure from tier 1 must be 50%. Deduction of securitization exposure from tier 2 capital must be 50%, and all of the above. So what is the answer for this? Anyone knows this? Okay, I'll give you the answer. Oh, let me wait. Let me check how many of you are answering. Somebody might be knowing it. So it is all of the above. Okay, it is all of the above. It must be deducted from whichever capital you take. Tier 1 also 50% if you take it in tier 1, tier 2 also 50% if you take it in tier 2, and are to be deducted from the regulatory capital. Last one for today. Tier 2 capital funds are limited to maximum 25% of tier 1 capital, maximum 33% of tier 1, maximum 50% of tier 1, and maximum 100% of tier 1. Now this, everyone amongst you should be able to answer this, because this is a basic question in your BFM, ABM, ABFM, everywhere related to capital. So you should be able to answer this basic question. The answer is yes. Answer is D, 100%. T2 cannot be greater than tier 1. Okay, T2 cannot be greater than T1. Okay, always remember, it can be maximum up to 100% of T1. Okay.
Hello everyone, welcome to Officer Adda 24/7. A very good evening to all of you. Right, so today we have started our new batch, that is AIM batch in English medium, and in bilingual we have the new batch, that is Manzil batch. Right, so ABM we have already started in our English medium batch, that is AIM batch. Right, so for that you can join. Right, and all the compulsory papers we have included in that batch. And module B I have started. Right, so module B, first I'll complete module B, then module D, and then we will start module A and C. So here we have the first question from the module B only, chapter number 11, that is. So which of the following is a mismatch in the career concept as per the Michael Driver? Okay, Michael Driver, he has given the 4 type of career concept. First is linear career concept, second is steady state career, third is transitory pattern, and the D is spiral career. Okay, now the which one among is the mismatch given by the Michael Driver? Okay, so what is the linear career pattern? See, The linear career pattern is actually the upward movement in the different organization in the same domain. Okay, so that is actually the wrong one. This option is itself is wrong one. Linear is all about that is going the upward movement like this in the same organization using the same hierarchy. Okay, so that is the right answer. Of course, it is a mismatch, completely mismatch. Second is the steady state career. So what is a steady state career? That means you are not opting for the promotion. You are not opting for the, you are acquired the higher skills. Okay, the steady state career is part of the expert career only. Okay, expert means you are having the knowledge. Okay, you are having the information, you are having the knowledge, but you are not opting for the promotion. You choose not to go up in the hierarchy. What is a transitory career pattern? Transitory career pattern is shift from one job to another without acquiring excellence. So whatever sentence is given here, that is right. Right? Transitory means that is shift from the one job to another without acquiring the excellence. That means you have not gained any excellence and you are shifting from one job to another. Okay? That means you are not achieved anything in that job. Okay? You have worked there for 2 years, then again you have started from zero, some other job, then you have worked there for 2 years, then you have started some other job, like that. Spiral means, what is a spiral career? See, spiral career is all about, that means you have joined somewhere, you have gained some excellence, right? You have worked well, okay? You have worked well and move up in the status, then move to the another kind of job, maybe because of some problem. So here of course the A is the right answer. Okay, here actually A is the right answer.